for seducing a woman, for keeping a relationship together. I had to go through one piece at a time, and then after I learned everything, I had to sort of pull back and let it sort of be in the background just in case something went wrong. I could use it, and that's really what it's for. I think that I have a friend who described it this way, and it's really really powerful way to describe it. That all the tools that you learn while you're starting to be either a pickup artist or just be better with women or whatever it is, are like scaffolding on a building. And what most guys do is they never take their scaffolding down. They just leave their scaffolding up, right? Once you learn the skills and you've done the renovation on yourself and you know these things and you have them and they have worked, you have to tear down the scaffolding. You have to, so that you can reveal what you've done, reveal the finished product. Otherwise it's just a building with a bunch of crap on the outside of it and no one gets to see how beautiful it looks now. The paint job, all the finishing work, all that stuff that you've done to yourself that really is refined and awesome. And then you can walk around with that natural person and know that you have these superpowers in the back burner that you've learned, that you've mastered, that work, that are effective and that work. And that's what you want to have. That's very important. Yeah, yeah, you can test that one. That one's true. And I'll give you a tool too. This is one of my favorite body language tools, and one of the things I see guys screw up more often than anything else. There's a list of I think I have top 10 things that I have in the Tao of Badass that I see guys do wrong, but I'll give you one of them. And it's really subconscious, and we don't even think about this whenever we do it. I mean, you may know this already, Vince, but the concept's called negative body language. Now, negative body language is, just to sort of give you the background behind what it is, whenever we need something, without thinking, we automatically turn our chest and our body to face the thing that we need, right? Always. It's what we do. We were wired to do that. Just like women are wired to look for men that other women are attracted to, right? So we automatically do that. So this is a problem, because whenever you're talking to a woman that you're really attracted to, maybe you still feel like you need this to go well, but if you feel that way, you'll never be able to attract this woman, right? And as soon as you start attracting a lot of women, you won't need to feel like this needs to go well, right? It's kind of like the idea of getting your first job, Oh, I need to get a job, but I need experience in order to get a job. But if I can't get a job unless I have experience, but I can't get experience unless I have a job, So it's kind of like, well, what the hell am I going to do? So what we end up doing is we end up finding a job that doesn't need experience, start out with getting experience and then leveraging that, right? So you find a way to hack the system, So as you're going through this process, your body is speaking the truth always. Like, that's why I'm really, really good at sort of one of my good friends of mine, this guy named John Benson, described me by the way of saying, or just described me as saying that I can see into your bone marrow, because that's what I do. I'm reading body language. I'm looking into people. But they're all telling me what they're thinking, but they're not saying the same thing. So as soon as I get an incongruence, I own you, because I know what you're trying to hide, And it's a very, very, very powerful thing that I cover a lot in the Tao of Badass. But one of the things that we do naturally is when we need something, we face that thing with our body, right? So instead of facing someone directly, a woman in particular, when you first meet her, if you have a lot of women chasing you, what are you going to do? You're not going to face her directly with your body, even if she's hot. You're not going to. Why? Because you don't need it to go well. Because you have other women that want you. All right, but you may want to talk to her because you go after what you want. So the concept is, I want this, I like it, but I don't need it. I don't need it. So try this. Next time you're talking to a woman, period, no matter who she is, as soon as you say something and you get a positive response, like she's laughing, whatever, try doing what's called a takeaway. A takeaway is where you turn your back to her almost fully for like 2 seconds. Just turn your back, like laugh, and then turn your back as she's laughing, turn your back, count to 2, and then turn back around and laugh again and play with her a little bit and be bantery, right? So when you do this, you'll see her attraction spike like massively. She'll start to chase you and try to lock you down, because she doesn't know if you're going to do that again. Or if, just because most guys, whenever she gives a positive response, they lean in. They're like, I want more, I want more, I want more, right? But she's looking for a guy who, when she gives a positive response to him, he gets positive responses from women so much that he doesn't need it. So he turns around or he does whatever. He gets distracted, And this really, really, really works. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you do this only when you give her a positive, when she gives you a positive response. But also, whenever you first meet a girl for the very first time, if you turn and face her directly with your body and you stay there, you'll start to notice she starts to turn her body away from you. And as she does this, the attraction's slipping away. So I don't go all the way around. Usually I turn around one way and then turn back the same way. Like I'll just give you an example. I'd be like, we're laughing, I'll turn around like this, and then I'll come back again and I'll keep talking, right? Yeah, or like, or I'll do this, like, whoa, like everyone, I'm not that funny, I'll turn around or something, then I'll come back again. I don't even have to look at anything else. You don't have to. You can be distracted with nothing. You can just be turning around, then turning back around again, like you were thinking about leaving, and now you're coming back. And that works. It works really well. And the reason why is because it's wired in us to evoke an emotion. It's wired. And it lets women think that this happens to you all the time. So when you do interact with a woman for the first time, typically what you want to do is you just want to turn your head. Like I'll be doing this, basically, when I'm talking to her. And then as we go through the stages, it's at a certain stage in the interaction that you look for this stage, you look for signs that you're in this stage. When you get to this stage, it's time for you to turn your chest toward her. Be like, oh yeah, and continue. And then at another certain point, finally, it's time for you to turn your legs and your entire body facing toward her. But typically, guys do this immediately. They just automatically face a girl. And that's not an attraction body language cue. That's a rapport body language cue. And basically what you're doing is it's the body language equivalent of walking up to a woman and going, hey, you come here often? Where are you from? Do you like baseball? I like baseball. It's exactly what you're doing because that's what guys do with their bodies when they're doing that. So it doesn't matter what's coming out of your mouth. It matters more about what you're doing with your body because the truth is we don't trust what you're saying in the beginning. We don't know you yet. Women don't know you. So they're going to not trust anything that comes out of your mouth. They're trusting your body language. They'll listen to you, but they're not trusting you. So you don't want to start out with a woman with everything you say, her going, is that true? Is he lying? Is that bullshit? Is that real? Is he really confident or is he not confident? You don't want that. You want her just to go, this feels good. And the only way to do that is with body language and vocal tonality. Well, first thing is that I would not do that. That's what's called, I had to label this because so many guys did it. It's called a chode crystal. And so you get this group of dudes who are holding their drinks like this up at their chest. This is called drink guarding. We do this because we're scared and we put something right here to cover our chest. So what usually happens is guys are doing this and they're looking around the bar. Now, you're doing three things. One is that you're dropping value because you're just interacting with each other and nobody else. Now, that's not a big deal if you're in rapport. If you're talking to another guy or a group of guys and everyone's intently in the conversation, your value is going up in a bar. But if you're all sitting there like bullshitting with each other, looking around, then you seem desperate, right? Because a guy who's attractive, who has women chasing him, doesn't go to a bar and look for women. He doesn't do that. He goes to a bar and talks to his friends and like has a good time with his friends and then women pop up, right? That's what happens to him. And if it doesn't happen, he doesn't care because he's got other women. So it's really important that's the first part. That's the first bit of that process. The second is that when you're looking around like that, that's called sharking. That means you're looking for somebody. And what you're doing is you're trying to smell blood in the water. You're looking for someone who is approachable, right? Not someone who is hot necessarily. I mean, you'll look for the hot girl and she look at her, damn, I'll go approach her. No, you go approach her. It's usually, all right, I'm going to go talk to her. Then you walk up and she just saw you sit over there, look all around the room. She knows she's hot. And now you're walking up. If you walk up with some kind of an indirect thing, it's going to be such bullshit to her. Hey, did you see the blank so-and-so outside? Or who lies more? Or whatever it is, Have you ever had that blow up in your face and you got totally rejected because a hot chick was there? It's because she saw you looking around for a woman to approach. You approached her and now you're making it seem like it was for some other reason. And it's not congruent. It doesn't make sense. Women have this red flag filter for congruence. They need you to be congruent. So that's the first thing. But the body language that I would have, here's what I always do when I go into a bar with a group of dudes. If I can pair off with one or two guys, I always will. I don't want to be in a huge group unless it's absolutely necessary. But if I am in a huge group, there's only a moment that I'll allow it to just be us. Immediately, I'll be pulling other people in because that's really what's important. You don't have to approach anybody for yourself. One of the most powerful things you can do